You are a rogue, just like in Dungeons & Dragons. You get a billion skills to flex on your team with. You might play second fiddle to the fighter in terms of combat strength, but your ability to RKO opponents out of nowhere and cripple your foes can help you level the playing field. So grab your dagger and your edgiest backstory and let's get stabbing. You start with 8 plus con health, and your key attribute is dependent on what your racket is. We'll get to that in a moment. You have sharp eyes and start as an expert in perception. For saving throws, you start trained in fortitude, expert in reflex, and expert in will saves. Skill-wise, all rogues start trained in stealth, and one or more skills determined by your racket. You also start trained in 7 additional skills, plus your int modifier. That means you start with roughly 9 to 10 skills trained out of the 16 skills in the game, more if you're int-based. If you can't tell, that's one of the rogue's core class features. As a rogue, you're also trained in simple martial and unarmed weapons. For your defenses, we're only trained in light armor and unarmored defense. Your rogue's racket is the most important decision you're going to make at character creation. Not only does it provide some great flavor for your character, but also decides what your key attribute will be and what your playstyle will be going forward. There are a lot of rackets, so let's try and blow through them. Have you ever wanted to burn heretics as a witch hunter of the Empire? Pick Avenger, making your key attribute strength and allowing you to pick up your deity's weapon and divine skill. Have you dreamed of playing Corvo Utano? Then Eldritch Trickster is for you. You can pick any multi-class archetype dedication as a bonus feat that grants spellcasting. Have you ever wanted to be Daniel Ocean? Mastermind is the pick, making intellect your key attribute, and you're able to recall knowledge on creatures to make them off guard to your attacks. Perhaps Kingpin is more in line with who you want to embody. If so, then Ruffian gives you strength as your key attribute and intimidation as your skill. Our last two rackets are Scoundrel and Thief. If you want to play the medieval Han Solo with a hand crossbow and trusty beastkin sidekick, you're going to want to pick the Scoundrel. Your key attribute becomes Charisma, and you become trained at both diplomacy and deception. Finally, the Thief is for those of you who want to play the classic, sneaky, edgelord rogue, making Dexterity your main attribute. Shockingly, you become trained in Thievery. You also get to add your Dex mod to your damage rolls if you wield a Finesse weapon, which is a great bonus and lets you dump strength, which most melees can't do. It's good, but probably the most boring racket, so I doubt anyone's gonna take it. God damn it. Okay, that was a lot. If you can't tell, the Rogue is a fairly front-loaded class, giving you a lot of your cool features early on. You'll be able to pick up stances, which give you a passive combat bonus when assumed during combat. Some of your actions have the Flourish trait, meaning you can only perform them once per turn. None of that is important, though, because your most important class feature that you really need to be honing in on, other than sneak attacks, is Debilitation. Debilitations are actions that apply conditions and other negative effects to your creature. When the creature is affected by a new debilitation, any previous one it was affected by ends, meaning you can only have one debilitation at a time until way later in the game. Unfortunately for you, you don't unlock Debilitating Strike until 9th level, meaning one of your most important combat features doesn't come online for half the game. It's worth the wait though, because once you pick it up, you're able to inflict things like the Enfeebled condition as a free action after dealing damage to them. Different rackets also are going to be picking up different feats that allow them to gain even nastier debilitating strikes. Your other key class feature is Sneak Attack, which you're going to be getting at level 1. When your opponent is off guard or flat-footed, for those of you from D&D, and you strike them with an agile or finesse weapon, you deal an extra 1d6 precision damage. This damage scales by increasing the number of dice by 1 at level 5, 11, and finally at level 17. You're able to roll stealth or deception for initiative, and any creature that you beat in initiative, that first round becomes off guard to you. You gain a lot of class features that allow you to make your opponent off guard, and this is going to be a key part of your gameplay is just trying to make opponents off guard by any means necessary to get that sneak attack damage. Have you ever worried about what to spend your precious skill increases on? Have you ever found yourself wanting 2 different skills and being unable to take them both? Well, iron out the wrinkles in that brain, think no more, because you are already trained in up to 10 skills at level 1, maybe even a few more. And you start with a skill feat at level 1, which helps you capitalize on all those skill ups. You proceed to gain a skill increase and skill feat every level until the end of the game. So enjoy being able to do just about everything in game from a skill standpoint. You also gain class feats at the normal rate of 1 every other level. Rogues get decent save scaling as they hit Master and Reflex saves at level 7. Level 9 brings Expert Fortitude saves, and level 13 gives you Legendary Reflex saves. Level 17 finally brings you up to Master with Will saves, and that's about as far as they go. But at this point, all your saves are going to upgrade to a critical success when you regularly succeed. And Reflex saves can't even critically fail anymore at this point, and you're going to be taking half damage on a failure. You scale like a normal martial, picking up Expert Proficiency at level 5 and Master at level 13. You do pick up the ever-useful Weapon Specialization at level 7, giving you 2 additional damage at Expert, 3 at Master, and 4 at Legendary. This doubles at level 15. Pathfinder 2e rogues really break the mold of your traditional rogue with their racket system. Gone are the days of the edgy character with that depressing backstory who stealth, sneaks, and steals. Though, of course, you can certainly still build that, rogues can be just about any kind of character story in Pathfinder 2e. They're incredibly versatile from a flavor perspective, and most importantly, from a mechanics perspective. They don't have any particular advantage when it comes to stealth, but instead primarily revolve around making their opponents off guard. You'll be wanting to flank as often as possible and try to make use of all your different abilities and skills to keep negative effects on your opponents. Rogues are a solid pick for any team comp and are almost as versatile as fighters with their rackets and skills. Archetyping with them is very strong because of how many skills they get, and they benefit quite a lot from the free archetype rule if your DM allows it. Now, I enjoy a good. Hey, wait a minute. Why is it all thief? Where did the Mastermind rogue go? Hey, you, get back here! Stealing all the different rackets. Alright, fine. Anyhow, I enjoy a good Mastermind rogue, having played them a few times. Since int is my primary attribute, I get even more skills, because you can never have enough. And hey, no, you can't take that too. Alright, at level 1, I'm going to be taking Nimble Dodge. Yeah, that's right, you better stay over there. Which, if I'm being completely honest, should just be a class feature because it's a mandatory feat pickup. At level 2, I'll take Mobility, letting me move at half my speed and avoid hostile reactions, which is always handy. Hey, wait a minute, are you using Mobility against me? Come, I can't even react. Okay, I'm gonna have to move fast before the thief steals all these. At level 4, I'm taking Battle Assessment, as my goal is to try and support my team via tactics, and this lets me gain additional info on hostile foes using my perception. At level 6, since my Racket feature lets me capitalize on recall knowledge checks, I'll pick up Analyze Weakness, and that lets me deal an additional scaling 2d6 for system damage. At level 8, I'll pick up Inspired Stratagem, which lets me grant my allies a fortune effect on one of their rolls each day. Level 10 brings Methodical Debilitations, unlocking formidable debuffs against foes I damage, which is preventing them contributing to flanking. Okay, I think we're safe. At this point, we've pretty much hit all the major feats for our support build as a mastermind, so we're just going to be picking whatever feats suit our character best and whichever ones the thief hasn't stolen yet. If you hit Legendary and Stealth, be sure to pick up Legendary Sneak so you become the single most overpowered character in the game, as you can constantly roll Stealth whenever and wherever you want. Anyhow, thanks for tuning in. Remember to like and subscribe, and the buttons were stolen too. I don't know why I try.